I would like to bring this meeting to order. I will take a motion to approve the minutes of January 17, 2023.
Move it.
Second.
Good, all in favor?
What's that? Oh, Jeff, did you vote yet?
Jeff, did you vote? Yep.
Okay.
Appointments, recognitions, and resignations. Consider the appointment of Jason Irwin to the Investment Committee. Consider the appointment of Alan Kimmerly to the Luso Committee. Consider the appointment of Joseph Renault to the Luso Committee. Accept resignation of Christy Anastasia as alternate planning board member. Okay, I'm sorry, I should have just done this one at a time. Consider the appointment of Jason Irwin to the Investment Committee.
I'll move it.
Second.
Good, all in favor?
Aye.
Consider the appointment of Alan Kimmerly to the Luso Committee.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consider the appointment of Joseph Renault to the Luso Committee.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Accept resignation of Christy Anastasia as alternate planning board member.
Move acceptance with regret.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda. Item A, Treasurer's Report, fourth quarter 2022, analysis of cash equivalents, investments, reserves, and trust funds. Item B, memo from Finance Director Jake Wright regarding modifications to the FY24 capital improvement plan, proposed funding resulting from no longer pursuing the virtual desktop project. Item C, universal waste collection totals from the annual HHW and UW held 9/22. Hancock County Commissioners meeting minutes from January 4, 2023, and Acadia National Park Advisory Commission meeting minutes from September 12, 2022.
Move acceptance of the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? All right, select board reports.
I have one.
Okay,
And I became aware, not through any constituent necessarily, but that many of our coastal communities have provided a donation to the Maine Lobstermen's Association Legal Defense Fund. And I don't know if it just was off of our radar or if it's not something that we are in a position to consider, but I would like to see this board at least make some type of a donation to that legal defense fund so that all the lobstermen living in our community know that we support them.
I agree with you, Rick. I did point out to a member of the Maine Lobstermen's Association that they could come to us for a third-party request and was told that they would. I don't know if they did. No. Not yet, no. But I agree. I would like to see the town support their efforts.
yeah, absolutely.
Could do that through your contingency fund.
We can,
Right.
if they don't come, if they don't request, yeah.
Yeah,
The deadline's already passed.
So he didn't come in. That's too bad.
well, do we want to think of a figure or?
I don't know what the size of our contingency fund is, but I think it would be,
How much do we have?
10,000. I don't think you've used any of it yet, or maybe.
It's like 10,000.
I'd like to see us,
You're going
I'd
ahead
like
and
to see us donate about $1,000.
That's what I was thinking.
Sure.
Yep. Good. You want to move it?
I so move, yes.
Second.
Any further discussion on that? Jeff, did you hear all that?
I did.
Okay, all in favor?
Can I just add something? I'm sorry, I should have done it before we voted, but maybe it could go with a letter expressing our support for the fishermen of our community and all fishermen in the coastal
when it
Maine.
goes out, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah,
Good idea.
good. So we're all set?
I have I just wanted to follow up with the street light situation that I was asked about.
Yeah,
Is anything happening there?
no one's called to complain.
Well, I checked in with the people who had originally come to ask me to look into it, and she said that nothing's happened yet. So I didn't know, she said there was something,
Police were gonna follow up on that.
Yeah.
I'll have to check, see if
Well, you-
they were gonna
yeah.
move it, basically.
right, yeah,
Four
good.
different poles, so it probably hasn't happened yet, but that was the plan.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Probably too cold.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
it'll get done.
All right, I have something, a warrant committee dinner.
Oh.
We should bring that back.
It's in the budget.
Yeah, but we really should be meeting face on with the warrant committee.
Yeah, we do have money in the budget again for it this year. So
Okay,
forget it.
so Bill,
We have our usual $600 that's been in there in the past. And I will ask our committee if everyone is interested in doing that. If we did something like that, maybe we could contact Michael Anderson, the caterer. He's been doing a really nice job at
Yeah.
the neighborhood house.
Good idea.
okay,
Does that sound good to everybody?
Mhm.
And as second choice, we'll have, if he can't do it, we'll have Liza Milk and Honey.
What would be the date?
The date, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, is the 14th, which is the Tuesday. Right.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
14th of,
March,
March,
because our warrant must be done by the 17th.
okay.
Now I'm gonna check, I feel like I'm on the spot.
Good.
Don't wait for me, guys, keep going.
okay,
I had something, I don't know whether this is the appropriate time, but it seems like every other day I'm reading something about some community somewhere that has passed some flavor of ordinance regarding weekly rentals and short-term rentals and all the and I know that there's committees that are discussing this but as has been pointed out, the wheels of government do move slowly, and I think we just need to make sure that we keep whoever's working on this on it, because it's going to get away from us very quickly if we don't.
The Luso committee is having a meeting, when is their next meeting? That week from, no.
meeting.
Excuse me?
We meet the third Tuesday, but I think we're before the planning board before that.
Yeah, so they're working on an ordinance to put on the warrant for this year.
That would be great. I'd love to see that.
It's very preliminary in nature.
Okay, I guess that's my concern is that it's easier to dial something back than it is to increase the rigidity of it. So I just hope that people are thinking in terms of that. Anyway, that's all. I just read a lot of articles about a lot of towns that are doing a lot of things, and it sounds very interesting. Lots of ideas, lots of ways to address it. And so far, I haven't heard a lot about them getting challenged in court and thrown out.
That's the 21st.
Yeah, you might want to go to that meeting.
I will try.
Is that it, Jeff?
Yes, thank you.
Along the lines of supporting our fishermen, it was brought to my attention that we don't have a generator at the marina. And this is really something for John Lemoyne. John, are you on?
he's on vacation.
Ah.
He's down south.
So, yeah, we don't have a generator at the marina to keep those engine blocks heated. And it's something they probably ought to look into.
For sure. Do that.
All right, now, any more select board reports? No. Unfinished business, Seal Harbor Library Memorandum of Understanding, presentation and review. Okay. Okay.
Wendy did make the warrant, right?
She did.
And I greatly spoke.
So there's nobody here.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be. I had been in contact with her. She had a question about the financial reporting, which I was able to answer for her, but.
Was she aware of this meeting?
I believe she is, yeah.
right, we table this, all right, motion to table,
Move to table.
Second.
okay. Righty,
She did appear before the warrant committee last week, and
yeah,
I did
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, I did a presentation for them on the memorandums of understanding and the contracting of services and how those entities ended up
Hmm.
into that area rather than the third party.
Oh, good.
good, so excellent,
Everybody
thank
on
you,
board?
Very much so.
good. Okay, item B, discussion of landscape architect's plan for benches.
I think where we left that, we agreed on granite benches. And I think, did you agree on,
I don't think we agreed on granite benches.
I thought that was that was my understanding of the discussion.
Yeah, I thought we decided they were really uncomfortable.
I thought we were gonna go with the benches like the benches we got down at the harbor.
Maybe I
Yeah,
misremembered.
Artificial wood,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I remember.
they're more
We'll have to
comfortable.
go back.
I remember a discussion about the benches all being uniform, looking the same, so that we
Right.
don't have a bunch of different benches all
Well,
over
that's why
town.
we stick with the ones we've already got.
Well,
And
maybe I misremembered.
they're comfortable and we can move them around if we need to. Yeah,
You
they
know,
last a long time.
They last a long time.
those ones down there have been there forever.
And you can put a plaque on the back if someone wants to dedicate one.
So the ones that are up on Main Street aren't, those are granite, right?
No,
They're
No,
not,
those are wood.
oh, they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Those
Oh,
are,
okay.
as the ones at the
Yeah.
marine.
Where did I see the granite?
There's a granite one down there with a dog on it.
Oh,
And there's a
Just
couple
one.
of granite ones. I
so
have.
for any dog benches, we'll use granite.
And
Okay, got
I
it.
think there's a granite bench in Seal Harbor too, but I'm not sure.
well, there have been a few. That's why we're not, that's why we're having had this discussion,
yeah.
so it wouldn't be all different. So,
So you want to do with the type of benches that are at the marina, that.
Yeah.
type of Basic green benches.
yeah, and if someone wants to dedicate them, one, we can put a plaque on the back of it.
Can I ask, because I think there's more than one type of non-granite bench down at the harbor. So before you say let's do the non-granite benches at the harbor, can you look at what's down there? Because I think you've got 2 different opportunities to make a choice.
Well, there's a line of benches right along the harbor, and I believe they're all similar.
I bet you do believe that, but it would be nice if we knew for sure, because it would be nice when the benches are taken away in the fall, that didn't matter what bench was put back where. But they all match, because this summer they didn't, I don't think they all matched.
Hmm.
So if we're looking for uniformity, that means they match.
I'm sure that's something that the director of public works would look into. So whichever there's more of.
Yeah. Brian, you want to take that on?
So that way, when we get into the spring season, the benches will be able to be chosen and
Yeah,
plaques and whatever.
if someone wants to, there,
And we do have that one pending request.
yes,
Yes.
and my understanding is that have we approved the marina plan yet? We haven't, have we?
Not exactly,
Has the harbor committee finished with it?
not to my knowledge. All I remembered is that they want to come back again and talk about certain, they like all the low bushes and stuff. I think the only thing that was in question was some of the trees,
Mhm.
but I think they were fine with the shrubs and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And they're ready, they're ready to give their blessings to those things. I think it was the trees that caused the problems.
When the harbor committee wasn't planning on hearing this question, but we have not seen a revised plan by the architect. And there were so many things that came up that weren't really appropriate for planting down there, that we really want to see a revised plan.
And I'm not sure that they're prepared to do another.
I don't.
They're not.
think-
Yeah, they're not.
And they
No,
said
I
so
think
at
they
their,
said that they, that's
last
their
appearance.
their last plan,
Yeah.
so.
Since they were donating it.
But they said you could do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
You know, it's up to you now.
If we wanted to fund revisions through the architect, we could do that, but they weren't prepared to spend any more money on it.
Yeah.
And did we keep we were supposed to keep all those boards with their their diagrams and their plans on them? That was the idea.
Oh, it was somewhere in the house, yeah. It didn't get thrown out.
Good.
I didn't see the landscape architect's plan for benches. And it's not in my
I
packet.
don't think they were really zeroing in on benches.
Mm.
They were more interested in trees and stuff. So I think a simple bench, like you say, work, so Brian decide which would come back. and stuff. I didn't realize we took those benches away. I knew we took the wooden ones away. I didn't realize we took those granite ones. I think it's still
There are two
there.
granite
Yeah.
benches down.
There.
Still a couple.
Oh, I walked by one the other day, so I don't think those things go.
No, there are two,
Damn heavy.
Yeah,
and uncomfortable
So I think
and
that's,
cold.
I think if you walk down there now, you'd see both of them. But
Yes.
the other ones could, because they're very portable.
Yeah.
Those in the back of a truck, so.
Excuse me, John,
yes.
see Wendy has signed in.
Oh, yes.
Well, I feel like we're going around in circles with this a little bit. It seems like a fairly simple thing. We've got a plan. If there's some objections and we can have specifics and a recommendation from the harbor committee, then we can
Yeah.
make a decision and
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you can remove.
Put it
the
to
bench-
rest.
I think you can remove the bench part of it from the shrubbery part of it.
Yeah, I don't think we need to.
Especially if the only report that you have right now, the only request is not active, so.
I feel that from my perspective, it's logical that there could be a dedicated bench at the marina. To me, it's not logical that we can put benches around town wherever someone wants them. That's my opinion.
So,
No, I pretty much agree with that.
Well, the request we had was for Pond's End, however, right?
Right.
Yes.
And there are no benches there. I don't think we need benches there. People
I-
moving around all the time, coming and going. I don't think we should set a precedent of just putting outdoor furniture around the town.
I would agree with that, but I thought that the idea when we put the people on hold, however many, 18 months ago, it might have been now, that we were going to look into where, in fact, we would be willing to accept benches or other sorts of things and sort of provide a menu of sorts of what possible donations would be acceptable. So, I mean, I think that if we waited this long, and there was a note that there, I thought there was a bench at Pond's End, but if we waited this long to provide an answer to the folks that had wanted to put a bench at Pond's End, and we told them what we were going to do, I think we ought to be prepared to do it. It's different than the marina plan. It's a different conversation. I don't agree that we should say only that we're happy to accept donations for benches at the marina. I think there are other places that people find special that could possibly be places where a bench or other sort of memorial type things could be donated. But I don't know. I feel like we dropped the ball and now we're not picking it up very well.
My concern is that, well, I understand the sentiment behind people wanting to memorialize their loved ones. Believe me, I understand that. But I don't think we can just willy-nilly be sticking things here and there without some kind of an overall plan for the town.
100% agree.
What-
Absolutely.
What this attempt was, but what it's sort of stalled. And I'm sorry that it's taken so long, but frankly, I don't think that's in itself a reason to just say, okay, well, let's just do it. That's my opinion.
Oh, okay, I don't disagree with, I'm not a big fan of willy-nilly either. But the actual location for the request wasn't even really studied. We don't have an explanation as to why we are now telling them, not only do we not have a type of bench that they can donate, but they can't donate a bench to that area. We don't even have an explanation as to why that would be. So I have an issue with that a little bit, because I think that doesn't make us look very good.
Well, if you'll recall from the start, I'm saying the same thing I said 18 months ago.
But who has been out there to look at that park? And I mean, we haven't looked at it. Nobody's looked at it. There's been nobody coming back saying, I don't think there's any room or anything. I don't know. I feel like we could have said no when they walked in here.
I think what we need to do is revisit it and go look at it and spend the time and come up with something final. That's kind of where we dropped the ball. And so I would avoid making any decisions tonight, but I would get on this and get that wrapped up. As for the marina project, that is in my mind, just sort of somehow got confused with the bench issue. The plantings and the landscaping down there is, in my mind, a separate issue is from the benches. Okay, the benches have been a problem for, an issue for a bunch of years. So I would suggest that we come up with a bench plan. Actually have somebody go over and look at Pond's End to make sure there's room for a bench.
There's one there now.
There's one there now, yeah,
Is that picked up for the winter?
I don't know.
There's a bench there now. Can we put a plaque on that bench?
No, it belongs to somebody else.
What? What?
That one is.
It's already
no,
dedicated.
It's already
I
dedicated?
think that is to Linda Savage. I think that is donated to Linda Savage, if I'm correct. I remember having a little ceremony that I attended there several years ago. So I think you're right. That one is in memory of Linda.
Yeah.
We would have to have a second.
Okay, and maybe look at the common design down at the marina and make sure that we have some options that are gonna make everybody happy.
Okay.
Okay,
And you should set a date when we're finally going to decide this. Because you can't keep bouncing folks back and forth. You want us to report back in 2 weeks?
Should have it all ready to put to bed by spring, when
bench
benches start going back out. Yeah.
good.
May I also recommend that we consider making a short list of other possible public spaces, town-owned public spaces where people might eventually request, so that we have an answer ready.
That was Jeff, that was my intention when with.
I know that.
Started, and it somehow turned to bushes at the marina. And the whole idea was we have a townwide plan for where things could go. And then when someone comes to us, we say, yes, we have a place here. But somehow that didn't happen.
I
now-
hear you, and
Now we're jerking people around.
we are in total agreement, Martha, and but it didn't happen, and that's the part that's unfortunate at this point, so.
Yeah, so we're gonna make it happen,
Yeah, that'd be good.
okay? All right. We don't have to do anything more with that, right?
Never.
Revised code of conduct policy.
I think this is the lady from the library was on.
Yeah.
Is that right?
You said she was here.
Wendy, yeah.
I think that's,
Livingston.
yeah.
You might as well take her. as a-
Wendy, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we're gonna go back to the agenda item that covers the MOU. for the
Sorry
CR.
about that. our librarian was supposed to be there and she got called away in a family emergency, so I am here in her place.
You're good.
Let me know what I should be giving you. I'm ready.
Well,
I have the MOU in front of me, so do you want me to read that a little bit?
no,
Well, old news.
Basically, we just want an understanding
Tell
that
us about your library.
Our library, well, as I mentioned last week in the meeting I was in, I think
No.
we are certainly the smallest library on the island. However, we do our best to be a mighty little library.
I don't know if she's,
Uh-oh.
I muted her. Somebody was muted.
okay.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me okay now? Shall I turn up the volume a little bit, maybe? Does that help?
No, it's good. No, we're all set.
Okay, great.
No, you were fine. It was somebody else was unmuted. That's all.
I gotcha. Okay. At any rate, as I said, we're probably the smallest library on the island, but we do our best to be a mighty little library. We have a wonderful librarian during the winter. We're open, well, I shouldn't say the winter, the fall, the winter and the spring. Joy Earlman, who represents us on Saturday mornings and has a nice little steady crew of people who show up. And then during the summer months, we are, sorry, somebody had a question? Nope.
No.
We are manned by volunteers who we're pretty much open 5 to 6 days a week, depending on the week. That's sort of July through the early part of September. So although we are small, we update our books. We have we give access to the community to our Wi-Fi, to our books, our periodicals. They have access to our historical archives. And we also offer, and we have a book club, and we also offer programming, mostly throughout the summer. We're hoping to get some programming in the winter, but it's a little tough, I think, finding people to do it. And then, of course, weather gets in the way. But during the summer, we have children's programming and we have lectures. We've had book talks. And then, of course, we do offer our book club. So we're very popular in the summer months because there's a lot going on. What else can I tell you?
What's your budget?
All right, let me flip to that piece of paper. I had it a second ago, and where did it go? Hold on a second, bear with me for a second. Where did it go? I had it here a second ago. Of course, when you have something on your screen, it disappears. Here we go. Well, that's a good question. I'm looking at our P&L, which I have for you guys. Hold on a moment. Let me look at this piece of paper. I'm sorry, as I said, Joy was supposed to be making this
You're
presentation.
filling in for somebody. It's difficult.
Yeah. And she's our wonderful librarian during the fall, winter, and spring, and it's just great. And you know, I said it last week at the meeting. Where do I have it down here? Anyway, I submitted the P&L for the year to Derlin. I hope you got that.
Your
our
request was 4,000.
Sorry?
You're
request
requesting
was
4,000?
Yes, that is correct. We are requesting 4,000. Our annual expenses come to about almost 13,000 per year. And so in addition to the $4,000 that we are asking for, we rely on donations from the community as well as our summer library fair, which does bring in a nice tidy little sum that helps us pay for our expenses. It's our one big fundraising event of the year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
You happy enough with the MOU?
If you're speaking to me, I am. I hope you guys are. It was my first time filling one out, but I hope so.
Okay.
And may I ask quickly, just the amount that we are putting in the MOU is aligned with what they've requested in the past and are requesting?
Very
Perfect.
much, and it just helps us to pay the to pay our librarian through the fall, winter, and spring.
Well, it helps us by taking it out of the process for third-party requests, so that's
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Okay, item C, revised code of conduct policy.
Maybe a couple of changes that incorporated those into that draft and sent them back.
Mhm.
And I think other than that, you were happy with it, my understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
This is gonna be incorporated into the policy manual.
I honestly, I'm trying to find where it says anything about anybody signing any time except the first day of their service. And I thought we discussed it pretty great length about having
Annually. Yeah.
about having them sign it annually. And there was one suggestion that maybe every time they were reelected, but I thought we had agreed on annually, and it doesn't say that at all.
I
And in
don't think
fact,
you need to have that. I think that's a policy. I don't think you need to have that in the document, Jeff, because you can change that anytime that you want is how often it's so.
I think we decided we would decide that and implement.
I was not aware that you wanted that written into it. That was.
well, it was in the minutes. I mean, it was quite a lengthy discussion about it. Item
Yeah, but
16.
I think what we took it as is that the board would decide when they wanted it signed. They wanted it annually, it would be done annually. But we didn't need to bake that into the actual document itself. The board can decide that at any time.
That's part
And
of it.
that way we wouldn't have to revise.
Process
every
issue,
it's a
time.
policy, yeah.
So I think it's a waste of time putting. it in
That's
the
this is a separate set of directions, Jeff.
Okey-dokey.
Plus, we sign every year or 2 years, we sign a conflict of interest statement. I have done it several
Only
times.
you.
Only me. What was that thing you
I
said?
think you're referring to, that's related to the audit. It wouldn't cover everyone that's.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah,
but we do.
people that in decision-making capacities and department heads.
I just find that the implementation a little on the weak side. We said that we may offer sessions and training, but there's no requirement that anybody participate in any of them. The only thing that's required is that affirmation statement. And anyway, I like the policy. It doesn't seem to have any teeth.
I think it has teeth enough.
Okay.
All right,
But you never did vote to.
Yeah, we need to vote it. I'll
Yeah.
move it.
Second,
any further discussion? All in favor? Item D, conflict of third-party funding request, second meeting on February 22nd, need to move to February 23rd. Okay,
Okay, I think so.
what day of the week is that?
Thursday.
Thursday?
Yeah, so instead of Tuesday, Wednesday, it's Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay.
Jeff, is that gonna work for you?
Just checking right now. Sorry, tell me the dates that we're going to be booked again
21st and 23rd
of
I have a conflict on the 23rd.
February. I do too.
February. I will not be there on the 21st. I'll be in San Diego. I mean, I could zoom in, but that's February vacation week for schools, and I'm
Yeah.
going to see my son. I can do the 23rd.
I can't do the
I
23rd.
can't do the 23rd.
You just moved it to the 23rd.
No,
It's under
we're
discussion.
It's under
discussing.
discussion.
I have the 21st and the 22nd. I'm good with those, but 23rd I have a conflict.
What time on the, well, I can't do the 21st, no matter what. I will be back on the 22nd. At some
What was the
point.
conflict on the 22nd?
Planning board meeting.
Oh. So is it a matter of space that we're talking
Yeah.
about?
We change the time.
Does the planning board have to move to be here?
Where else they would go at this point?
Isn't there also a conflict with the Zoom? Like you can't have. two
Oh,
meetings
right.
at the same
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I-
How
we
about-
don't- Okay,
how about that Friday? It's not great for people, but I could do it.
I'll be here that Friday.
Monday's a holiday. Yeah.
Hmm.
How about the following Monday, the 27th?
21st and 27th, or 21st and 28th?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why not?
does that work for space?
You have the calendar, Jake?
We have a warrant committee on the 28th.
Yeah, it's a combined meeting for us, and I just check our dates here.
So
Yeah, the 28th, the warrant committee meets, and
I'm
can't do the
Think of the
28th.
27th, Monday, the 27th.
Yeah,
I don't see anything on the 27th.
Cool. Let's do
Okay.
that.
Good, yeah.
So it's Tuesday, the 21st, and Monday, the 27th.
both at 6:30 regular BOS time.
What do we do typically?
6:30?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, it's
Okay,
It's at 6:30.
originally, so yeah.
good.
Let's see, make sure we.
I'll take care of notifying the requesters.
Good. Thank you.
we already
Yeah,
had it. the 27th.
I'm gonna be in the air, I believe, on the 21st, so there's nothing I can do about that, but I don't know if that, I don't know what to say about that. I was hoping I could be, my flight left late enough from San Diego, but it's supposed to take off at 8:30 on the 21st, which is 5:30 your time. So
Oh, good.
anyway,
They're tough.
It took me 4 days to get home from Arkansas, so good luck with that.
well, if it's any consolation, I land at 4:48 in the morning in Boston on Wednesday. You want to meet then?
Maybe. That's what I say about flying nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If you leave San Diego, what time are you leaving San Diego?
8:30 PM West Coast time.
that'd be 11:30 here.
Oh, yeah, I'm backwards. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's possible. Hey, you're right. I was looking, never mind. Sorry, I'm sick. And I'm old. Okay, I could try. I will work that. I will put that on my alerts and figure that out.
Speaking of old,
No,
pitiful.
I'm falling and I can't get up.
That's about right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I feel right
Yeah,
now.
but you think you're old now, just wait.
Thanks. I got it. I knew that was gonna come back to bite me. All right. Thank you
So
for
we're
the
good.
clarification.
We're good for the 21st and the 27th?
Yes.
Great. Okay, we can move on to item E now. Discussion of capital gains reserve account and certain projects as described in memo from Jake Wright, Finance Director, dated February 2nd, 2023.
Well, there's a big long memo there, I think covers it all, but happy to answer any questions. Essentially, capital gains reserve has been a great mechanism for us to fund things without any kind of taxation. But when markets are uncertain, we may have to pull back, and the timing of it all, kind of is what it is. But I think it's at least good that we're going into the town meeting and we can identify new funding sources for a couple of projects that are really at issue here.
It was a very good explanation. I appreciate it. My question is, what are those alternative funding sources?
We haven't finalized them yet. I think that it'll probably be a small bond that we'll be proposing. There's a few little projects here and there that we've done that quite a bit in the past, where there's a couple things here and there. When capital gains are great, we try to use those,
Right.
but you know, when that's not really an option or may not be an option, then, you know, a small bond is probably what we're looking at.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It was a very good explanation. Long, but unnecessary,
There's so much history. with that.
necessarily long.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So much context.
Yeah.
Very clear memo, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
very good.
Great job. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have anything they want to add? Okay, item F, review bids received to repair approximately 200 lineal feet of erosion at Seal Harbor Beach.
So this was that second project. that we
Yeah.
discussed here.
Okay, so we're gonna hold off on those.
That's the recommendation.
Mhm.
Good,
Quite a difference.
Mhm.
yeah. We need to vote on that, right? Okay, let's, I will take a motion to,
Table?
Yeah.
So moved.
Second,
all in favor. Awesome. Okay, and item G is move. So new business, consider waiving collection of EMS accounts receivable in the amount of $300 in response to request from patient.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
if I could. Item G, we ask that you reject the bids. Because we'll rebid this after town meeting.
we actually have to vote and reject the bids.
Yeah, I think instead of tabling, he's asking. if we
Okay.
should Just reject. it.
All right, I'll take a motion to reject
move
the
to
bids.
reject.
Okay,
Second?
all in favor.
Thank you.
Tony. New business, consider waiving collection of EMS accounts receivable in the amount of $300 in response to requests from patient.
Move waiver of collection.
Second,
When the
It's
rejection.
gotta be positive. We gotta make
Oh,
it
okay.
more positive, yeah.
okay, second,
Second, okay, discussion. So the recommendation we have is not to waive. Right,
It's, and I think get into it more, but in line with
Yeah.
practice and what
we
everyone else.
want to
pays
be, treat everybody the same.
yeah, I think that's perfectly reasonable, yeah.
And I think the gentleman was using Mount Desert ambulance as being owned by the hospital.
Oh,
Because in the letter it kept saying, like he was writing it to the hospital,
oh,
like, shouldn't pay you couldn't take care of me. And so you had to send me elsewhere, so I shouldn't have to pay your ambulance bill,
oh,
sort of thing.
oh,
So I think there was some confusion there that
I
we were
see.
separate entity.
Okay. All right, well. All in favor of waiving the collection? All opposed? Good, thank you. Consider writing off uncollectible accounts receivable in the amount of $2,279.50 created by 3 EMS runs prior to the effective date of the Mount Desert Fire Department's Medicare billing certification.
too bad we can switch those two amounts around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I move we accept the recommendation of Jake and eat this one.
Yeah,
Second,
any more discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
Overview of Public Works related proposed May 2023 town meeting warrant articles. Okay.
we have a memo from Tony Smith going through the list of the
Right.
proposed warrant articles that will be bringing forward from Public Works.
Mhm.
How you want to do this.
I take more of the time, yeah.
It's the first couple of them, that's both the road and the.
I can't hear you.
Patterson Hill is the first two of those that are listed in the memo. Excuse me. And one is the road, and which will be subject to conditions. The main condition on that is ownership, sorting out the ownership. It's going to take multiple signatures from the homeowners up there in order to convey that land. That's the primary condition on that one. On the sewer, that one also has a number of conditions, or 9 conditions that have to be met prior to acceptance of that sewer collection system. There's a pump station, alarm on the pump station that's not there, and needs to be installed. There's several other things. We're expecting to have about a 2-year expected timeframe for completing all of those conditions. Nothing gets accepted on either of those until all the conditions are met. Is the intent.
But we vote on it at town
Vote on
meeting,
it at town meeting,
pending the
pending
conditions
those
being met.
conditions being met.
Okay,
And then once all conditions are met, to the satisfaction of Public Works,
Yeah.
then they can be accepted to the town.
I see.
So their sewer system is like Farnham's Way? Is it similar to the Ripples development?
Yes,
It is, with the exception that it has a pump station as well.
It also has a pump
It
station.
has a pump station,
Okay.
its own pump station that they currently operate.
And what do they just truck it from there somewhere?
It goes to the Somerville, it goes towards the Somerville station and then into a
Oh, okay.
sewer manhole where it's then gravity for the rest.
All right. Yeah.
Isn't, that's my sense of it. I haven't walked it all, but
Mhm. Okay.
Can I ask about, I find myself continually asking about sidewalks. The sidewalk on the easterly side of Route 102, I'm trying to remember, is that an existing sidewalk that's being put back in good order, or is that a new? Because the sidewalks, we have sidewalks in Somerville, some of which are on the side of the road that don't get used, and on the other side of the road, they're subpar. And I just would like for us to spend a little more time like thinking forward about how to, put sidewalks and crosswalks so that they're better sidewalks and maybe not on both sides of the road. I'm just putting it out there because you cannot, there's parts of the sidewalk that I know, because Tony and I have talked about this from 10 years ago, when there's parts of the sidewalk in Somerville that there's no chance during the winter that a handicapped person could navigate, no chance at all. And there's other parts of the sidewalk that are brand new that nobody ever walks on that side of the road. And I just would like to maybe start thinking more when we go get big road projects that aren't our projects, and it just it seems like we do this often. Tony has his hand up, so I'd love to hear.
Yeah, Tony.
yeah, Jeff, what you said, that sidewalk on the easterly side of the road, we were going to replace that when we did the other side of the road a few years ago, but it got removed from the project. But yes, the lawns, so to speak, are encroaching out and are swallowing up that sidewalk over time.
As I recall, Tony, the reason we didn't replace that sidewalk or put that sidewalk was because the residents on that side of the road objected to it strenuously.
Correct.
And then later reconsidered their objections and now would like it. Is that right?
Exactly, Martha. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Well, I'm happy to see the sidewalk improvements because I think people should walk, and
Well,
it's hard to walk in.
I agree with that. I just think we could do a better job of thinking forward when we're getting big projects done on roads and things like that, and where we could have a good quality wider sidewalk on one side of the road. And since they've restricted the number of crosswalks, we can make the crosswalks better. And I'm mostly talking about Somerville because that's where I'm familiar. And it's ludicrous. We could have, if we had, we do have a couple of crosswalks that are well marked, and we could have better sidewalks on one side of the street and not lose any road. but it's too late.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
we have a better chance of citing crosswalks if we have a sidewalk on each side of the street. That way you can go from a safe landing zone across the street to a safe landing zone. For instance, a gravel shoulder isn't warranted, it isn't considered a safe landing zone.
Well, how about the library?
That goes,
No sidewalk there.
but I believe it's paved out that way.
For a parking plan.
Actually, on one side and sidewalk on the other.
Right.
Um, 4 and 5.
yeah.
The old grass, anticipated that we'll be combining that into a single, since it comes from a single warrant article. The thinking is that since it was originally as one, then it'll be put forward as, but it'll describe both of those,
It'll delineate within that warrant.
within one warrant, it'll describe the two versions. And then sand salt building, getting some conceptual plans on the sand salt building, to figure out
Great.
where we might be able to put one on that site or whether or not it is feasible. So some feasibility and conceptual ideas, and then come back at another time for any further work that we'd be looking to do. The tennis and pickleball courts, restoration of those, some somewhat deteriorated condition and looking to rehabilitate those. We have parking lots, the one below the town office across the way with, that's leased to Cranberry Isles. And also the one in Seal Harbor that's near the wastewater treatment. So basically, sidewalk. And then the standby generator is one that's leased to the high school right now. It's gonna be just sold outright
Good.
to the high school. And they're ready to take on that. The Babson Creek Bridge, that's gonna be a little while. They're gonna detour for a year is their estimate. And so we're going to need to have the current wastewater line moved onto their temporary bridge. And then another wastewater line put back onto the new bridge. So we'll be swapping service. I'm not quite sure what's gonna happen in terms of how it's gonna operate while it's on the temporary bridge. They don't have detailed designs on that. That'll be kind of up to the contractor at the time, and we'll do the best we can to make it operate the way that it does now, but there's not a guarantee. So there may be some temporary pumping that we need to do in that area. We'll hope not to. The designs going forward on the final version of the bridge, we did retain it so that it moves the same way, it's gravity fed across that bridge. We have a need to accept that we're outside of the DOT standards for that, but I don't think there's an issue with that.
Brian,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I attended a DOT presentation on that bridge and the condition of it several years ago when it seemed pretty dire.
Yes.
And they have postponed construction. Is it gonna last?
The last, what did I hear? Last I heard it's construction in
24?
I can't say I haven't, I mean, I'm not bridge inspector and I mean, it is due for replacement for sure.
It is.
It's quite old, so I'm glad that they're getting into the project for sure.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Gets a lot of traffic.
It does.
Sure does.
During the relocation of that bridge, it's going to be relocated for approximately a year, you said?
That's what I had heard from DOT. Yeah.
And your guys did a great job in putting in the poles for those safety signs and lights for the community school. Will those also be relocated for that period of a year during that construction, or what is the plan for those?
Well, then one may have to be, I don't know about both. I would expect the one that's closer to the stoplight may be in the way of that temporary bridge. Just thinking back to having driven it a bunch of times and where that one is located. That may be in the way because the temporary is going to be on the downstream side of that bridge.
Yeah.
So that seems like it's pretty close to where that one is.
So the other may not have to be moved at all.
seems like it's far enough away and it's on the other side, so.
Yeah,
Hmm.
We'll
I
have to
just-
look with that as well, but that's gonna, I would assume it's just like the wastewater line, that's gonna be our responsibility.
yeah. Cause they, they put the posts in and I thought, oh, that project's moving forward, great. And the next meeting, the bridge is gonna be torn out. Well, here we go.
Yeah.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and then the other two we kind of discussed already, is just
Yeah.
the change to funding sources.
So I do have a question about the parking lot you're talking about in Seal Harbor. Is this the parking lot above the Acadia Outdoors Center or whatever that is? It's the dirt lot. Okay, so we're gonna pay the dirt lot and we can put in chargers or something.
And EV charger,
Good.
Brian and I are meeting on Thursday to discuss getting the preliminary design to make sure we have the correct
Good.
electricity brought in before anything is being run conduit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
That's part of that is part of the community resilient partnership grant money, or at least for the charger portion of it all. We do need to check into what part of the that's for the actual chargers, how much money is there for the installation, we need to look at. I can't answer that, I don't have the grant in front of me. But I know it's for the units themselves.
Good. So. Yeah, thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Proposed fiscal year 24 revenue budget review.
Everyone got a copy of that. That's about 156,000 above what we estimated last year. While we were able to do that, maybe there was a recommendation to change some of our investment around. We were able to compensate, more than compensate for the fact that we won't be having the capital gains contribution this year. So I say overall it's 156,000 more than what we estimated last year.
And so just to be clear, the column that says request is really projected.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One.
Okay. Good.
Who are you requesting?
But they, well, it goes, in the form of,
Yeah.
so that's what kind of request. But this is all our best judgments and outlooks, and the interest and that the revenue lines on the investments have changed a lot as a result of the dip in the investments to more fixed income models like treasury bonds. And then the renegotiation of our operating interest obviously had a huge effect. I think both of those are fairly conservative and bake into it a fair amount of uncertainty in what the Fed might do to the rates going forward.
But we beat the market, at least some of it.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, that was the idea with all of this, was to try to offset the adverse effect of the rates and understanding that we're experiencing on the expense side.
Okay. So any questions for Jake? Awesome. Thanks, Jake.
Sure.
Special meeting February 13th for ordinance articles and review of MDES budget and draft warrant review.
That's next week.
That's next week,
4:00.
4:00.
It is.
Mhm.
It is the same night as an AOS meeting. I don't know if that was.
They usually come to us first and then go there. They
13th,
yeah.
Hit us early, so
4:00.
Yeah.
Yes, come forward and look out.
We also have a climate task force meeting at 5. Just. John.
We do.
We do.
Yes, we do.
So I don't know how long.
What task force?
Climate action. Okay, I'm gonna reschedule that.
The climate meeting?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Okay,
So 4:00 in person down there next Monday.
Yeah.
Got it.
Phil, does that sound reasonable?
Good, I'm happy to reschedule.
Okay,
And we do that right here.
Well, then most of the committee is on the call.
Jeff, are you good with that rescheduled?
I am, well, I mean, I don't know what the new time is, but I think that would be wise.
We asked Tony because he's on the call too.
Pardon?
Are you okay to reschedule the climate task force meeting on that Monday, the 13th?
At 4 o'clock?
It-
Yes,
it wa-
yes, anytime, sure to, yes, no problem.
Okay, all right,
So we can right now, Johanna.
yeah, no,
John, you'll take care of all that, right?
don't worry about it, I got it.
Yep,
I scripted
got it.
down.
I'll wait for your instructions. Thank you.
Barely legible handwriting.
You're the
Awesome.
man.
Good,
Okay,
okay, other business,
no, sir.
okay, treasurer's
Can
warrant.
I'm sorry, I didn't,
Yes.
it's not, I don't know if it's actually business, but I probably should have brought it up in a selectman's report, but I was a little, we often see some sort of a report in the consent agenda from the MRC, and there wasn't one, and then, but there's been a lot about the plant and their investors falling out last week, and I think we can't, it just continues to be an issue that we need to be aware of all the time. So I don't know if there's a reason to have that be a business agenda item, but I was just a little surprised that we didn't hear anything about it and didn't have it on our agenda to respond. It was in the paper and it was all over the news. That the investors, their exclusivity was, it just feels very much like we're back at square one again.
Because we are.
It's right.
Because we are, right. And
Yep. But it opens the door for any other investors out there who.
well, we've
might-
opened the door on multiple occasions and we've had nobody walk through except for one or two, and then we've been distasteful, or else they've decided they're not going to be there. So I don't know.
Mr.
All right.
Chair.
Yes. Go ahead, Tom.
Yes. Exclusivity ended with Revere Capital, which does open the door to others that have been calling and ringing the phone off the hook throughout the Revere Capital process. So we're not back at square one. I respectfully disagree. We're not at square one. We have irons in the fire. We've been involved with a number of state entities, getting very creative with some of these things. When it's a dead horse, I'll certainly be the first one in line to tell you. But there's great effort being made. And again, Revere Capital is not out of it. They just do not have exclusivity. We couldn't go any longer with exclusivity. We do, as I think Jeff might have said, we do have other suitors out there that are interested in the facility. This plant has to be up and operational for this region, this greater region.
Yeah, I think in the meantime, though, it would behoove us to have a plan for maximizing our recycling, reducing the amount of waste that people put on the curbside. Whatever plans, whatever come up with, need to have a plan B. And as far as I can tell, plan B is kind of vague right now.
Well,
Is
plan,
that something the sustainability committee is working on, or no?
So,
I'll speak to the sustainability committee. I think, we have a zero sort. We've always done business as usual as far as our trash, the way we do refuse in our town, where we pick up residents once a week during the winter months, twice in the summer, and we also pick up businesses. We also have some other choices I guess we could make. We could, one of the things that's going to be the most desirable when the fiberite facility or coastal resources is back online is the wet. And those are all your organics and things like that. We could enter a contract possibly with AgriCycle and maybe start collecting compost, and that would alleviate some of the things that like you're mentioning, but that we need to possibly have some way that would transit, either we have to make a choice as a town to continue, or is that going to be part of what we're going to put in our tipping to go into coastal resources when it comes online. Any thoughts?
Well, my only thought is that we need to have something. And I think as a group of sustainability committees, I mean, we might as well start there.
I'll add to the agenda for our next meeting, and maybe we can reach out to AgriCycle, which already has a, they already are coming to the island. I know in the summer months, I'm not aware of what they're doing in the winter months.
Yeah.
But I know they're getting quite a bit of, lobster shells and things like that from many area restaurants, and that is what they're really set up to do, and what is desirable. I've never visited the facility, I just know about it and the program.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna need to be conversing really quickly on this. I don't think that.
I think Tony has a.
Tony, go ahead.
We're paying probably 2.5 times for recycled materials to recycle than we are for disposing of the same materials as garbage. That's a factor. But on the organics, when the facility is up and running, I'd have to check with the full MRC board about the organics in this interim period. But by the joiner agreement that was signed by all the member towns, however many years ago, by agreement, those organics are required to go to the facility because that's one of the basis for the production of the biogas. If someone wanted to do something else with their organics, we'd set up a meeting and meet with those folks and talk it out.
All right, want to put it on the agenda?
We'll put it on the agenda.
Good.
And that's one item, John, the recycling is we're going to pick up at the ADD on behalf of the 5 member towns.
Okay, maybe you could come to one of our sustainability committee meetings and lay that all out for us, how that works.
Which now?
No, just come to one of our sustainability committee meetings.
Yeah.
And lay out for us in detail how the recyclables work, how it all goes together so that we're all on the same page before we start thinking of things.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yep, will do.
Great. We ready for treasurer warrants?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Town invoices AP 2351 in the amount of $670,089.22.
Move approval and signature.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
State fees and payroll benefits, AP 2348, AP 2349, AP 2350, and town payroll PR 2317, PR 2318, and PR 2319. In the amount of $390,098.97.
Move signature.
Second.
All in favor? And school invoices, AP 8, school payroll PR 15 and PR 16, and voided disbursements V 2308 for a net of $497,887.75.
Move acknowledgement.
Second.
All in favor? Great, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Voting.
What?
All in favor?
I just, in my mind, it was a foregone conclusion.
You didn't think you were gonna get an argument?
Okay. Thank you, everyone.